Woo! We made it.
Not a moment too soon.
Welcome back to the Exponential Files. I'm Larry Loffer, along with the host, Jim Lowenstern. We are graced today with Jacob Sheets. And Jacob has an awesome property, equestrian property in Wisconsin, in your hometown. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little hometown. Let's talk about your market. Welcome to the show, Jacob. The Exponential Files. Did I say everything, Jim?
Yeah, you did really good.
Thanks. I needed that. Jacob, welcome to the show. What's it like there? It's I think 20 degrees here today.
Negative 20.
It's actually one of the coldest days of the year. Yeah, so we're at about like negative 15 right now. So that's with wind chill though. So a nice toasty -2 without.
Right. If only our football teams were playing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But we'll talk about real estate instead. Jacob, let's talk about your equestrian property, if you could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a stunning property that is in the really beautiful and quaint town of Cedarburg. It's right on the edge of the town and city. So it has 6 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, 6,642 finished square feet. It has an incredible, I mean, for equestrians, car enthusiasts, or anyone like that that has a lot of extra hobbies, there's so much extra space and storage and amenity for that. There's a 60 by 130 steel outbuilding that they use for an indoor arena. So it's got all this premium footing, premium water management systems with 2 Euro stalls inside of there as well for the horses. And then they also, and a hay loft up top. And then in the back, they have the Barn Pros barn, a wood barn in the back that can hold up to 5 different stalls, heated tack room with like an in-floor heat. It's fantastic. And the entire property, the estate itself, has radiant in-floor heating throughout. That when I was talking to the sellers, like, we don't want to leave this.
But yeah, so why are they selling?
Yeah, they're looking at downsizing. Yep. And wanting to get something a little bit more simple, probably main level, and just simplify, right? But this one, they were the original owners that designed the property, and they ended up having the couple other few features that I want to point out. They have the main level living additional ensuite. So like you could have either for multi-generational live in place, age in place, whatever you have for that, that has, wider doorways, direct out ramp to the beautiful patio in the back with no steps, roll in shower, all that good stuff. And then also like, of course, a dream kitchen with a great room, 21-foot tall, but like huge soaring ceilings, 3 gas fireplaces through the building. And then in the upper as well, like the amount of detail and pride of ownership is unreal. So they have this gold Ansax tile, the small tiny tile is hand laid individual piece by piece that in the main master bathroom, that is just unbelievable detail, right? I mean, and we can talk for hours, right, about the property itself, but those are even just a few of the things. And if we were to go through it, and eventually, if we do get that video going at the very end, so that could be the nugget to stay for, it really has every single little area I could point out and talk so much more about. But yeah, it's an incredible property.
So move from another part of the world or the country or Wisconsin for that matter to your town, and other than they had horses, what are the features of your area?
Yeah, great question. So I grew up in Cedarburg, Wisconsin, right? It is a beautiful suburb of Milwaukee of about 12,000 people. And this one in particular property, Cedarburg, everyone loves it for its historic downtown. Okay, so it's this cute hallmarky town that you can go to, and they have festivals during the year. You usually get either in the city of Cedarburg, which is a little bit more dense and it's older historic homes, or you get into the town, which is very spacious, but it's away from everything and not really walkable, right? So this being directly on the border, you get, for one, I was just talking to someone from California that like probably, less than a half hour before this call about this property. And they go, is this like an error that you're listing it for this much money? 1.495 million for all of that. And our average price point in our area is 333,000, right? So basically, to answer your question, they have the features of a huge amount of luxury for, you could say only, but right, only $1.5 million. And you're able to get into this bubble of this hallmark experience, right? That you can literally walk or bike to from the property to downtown Cedarburg. You can get that while being, in that area. And on top of that too, the Cedarburg School District and system has won so many awards. I might be biased. I've gone through it, but it still has won many, many awards. So it has so many features that it's able to be, highlighted and really enjoyed.
It seems like an incredible value. I mean, you can't buy even a 2-bedroom condo in some parts of Boston for that kind of money.
That's
So,
correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. But across the country, the prices are different and the valuations. I had the fortune of actually watching this video, and 7.5 acres, 7.47, something like that, an incredible amount of area, beautifully. You used aerial photography, drone, a lot of that. In fact, I was surprised there was like 30% of the show was looking at it from above and getting a vista of the rolling hills, not just the buildings themselves.
Right. Correct.
What kind of activity are you having on the property?
Yeah, so we just went live on Wednesday, and I've had a lot of phone calls. They're wanting to have as much activity and action at this first open house here on Sunday, so it's from 12
Okay.
until 2. But yeah, other than that, we've been having lots of fielding of calls and other agents, both locally and ones that are saying, from a little bit further away, wanting more info for their buyers. But it also goes into kind of how we talked a little bit even before this call about some of the strategy that I had to maximize the reach, not just locally, but mainly to focus on the niche, right? The niches, and then
Right.
also like the high density people and cities that might be actually, interested in a property like this outside of our area.
As a second home or vacation property, it seems like a lot of work for a vacation property, especially if you have horses, you have to have someone there, right?
100%. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So lots and
let's
lots.
talk about your career. You've been in the brokerage business for how many years? Where did you work? Why are you with eXp? Why did you join in the beginning? Why did you come back? All those things.
Right. Absolutely. So I started originally after doing a little stint in banking, getting connected with a team, and I was a buyer's agent with eXp Realty with the Joe Ferraro real estate team, and did a phenomenal. The community that was there and still is there is just incredible. But they're out of the Madison area, so kind of that's where I started, right, a little more central Wisconsin, and then ended up going after a few years of that, went over to a small boutique brokerage in our area, focused more on luxury real estate in the Milwaukee North Shore for a year, and then came back over to eXp. And then it was independent here for a while, and now I'm in the process of starting my own team. So being able to have I just hired my first. I was working with a transaction coordinator, but my first admin assistant this last week, and then I'm looking at in the next 3 to 5 years, getting anywhere from let's say 10 to 14 agents spanning from Milwaukee to Madison, because that's where my natural, authentic reach, sphere of influence, and recent business has been since I started. So continuing to grow that brand as Milwaukee to Madison Real Estate, and in that future, one of the big goals when I started was the Realtor Magazine 30 Under 30. So continuing to strive for that as well as a goal. And yeah, it's a little bit more of the career experience that I've had.
So what do you like about eXp?
Great question. Well, brokerage is phenomenal. The structure is set up. You guys did interview Glenn, CEO, in the past on your show, and I went to eXpCon this last year. I did, and he genuinely really cares about this company and the agents. There's a lot of information, I guess misinformation, fragmented information about eXp that's out there, but I wouldn't have come back if I didn't really love it. And one, he sets the culture from the top of really actually being collaborative, right? Every agent in the world, you have your own independent choice to be on the spectrum of collaboration and competition. You can fall anywhere in there, and almost all the eXp agents that I've met with have been very collaboration focused. And I mean, there's a lot of other reasons for that. We're not a franchise company. We're able to connect with whoever, wherever we're at any point in time. Doesn't matter. Again, you can direct message the CEO or, an equestrian realtor in California if I want tips. It's not geographically constricted.
Right. Right. One of the ways that you get your business is through social media. In fact, it's the main way you get your business. Instagram, Facebook, what are the other tools? YouTube, what are some of the other ways that you get the word out? And how does the KV Core, your KV Core website, help you?
Yeah, great question. So my strongest platforms are definitely Facebook first, and then YouTube and LinkedIn actually after that are the main ones that get transactions from and get relationships, and I build relationships with people. It's really important to be on a social media platform that is authentic to you, because I'm not super posh, right? And a lot of the luxury agents that are out there and others, they're very glossy and very glamorous, and I'm just very real, right? So with that, Instagram doesn't it's usually like highlights the very posh, right? Which is good, and I'm growing on my platform on that as well. But Facebook and YouTube especially allow me to be really, really authentic and really, really story and emotion based, right? Which is the type of person I am. And as I break into the luxury market a little bit more, it allows me to pull back some curtains and be real and be relatable with people. So, and you're asking how then integrating KV Core into that. So KV Core is our CRM that's provided to us with eXp, and there's even when you get a listing, it automatically filters through there and it creates a website for you with lead capture, right? So it's already set up on there, and being able to go, and I've actually hyper targeted, especially for this property. There's both organic reach and paid reach, not just paid per click, but being able to hyper target niches. Right. So I went into, first off, organic. Let's look at that. I went in and joined every single equestrian group I could possibly find. Horse properties for sale, equestrian life, quarter horse and farming. There's a huge, it's countless. So I joined just about every single one of those for organic reach, and post not just through Facebook Marketplace with the lead capture link. So then anyone that clicks on that link and goes through a few things, if they're genuinely interested in knowing more, they have to put in their info about, to reach out to them, which of course everyone here's like, it's annoying, but hey, it's what generates contacts. Is then I follow up, and it's important to then communicate, build a relationship as time goes on. So that's the organic side. And then also on the paid side, through KV Core itself, you can hyper target the location. So in this example, I did some research on the top 5 and 10 cities by density of most equestrian residents by density. So then was able to hyper target some of those areas, like Dallas and like what were the other ones? Yeah, some in Kentucky and one in Chicago. The Chicago one was not so much just for equestrian, but we have a lot of people in my area that are moving from Chicago and or looking for additional property from Chicago up into Wisconsin and in the area. So being able to hyper target that way as well.
Yeah, the feeder neighborhoods is, what you're talking about.
So the property itself, you're selling the house and the barn, the tack rooms and all that stuff. And then there's additional land. And it looks like from the drone footage that the additional land has frontage. And sometimes we call those like Form A lots. They can probably be built on easily and right away, let's say. You want to talk about the land at all?
Well, yeah, it's on a 5.41 acre lot, and we had it in the past when we were looking at selling it, of the seller deciding if they want to sell with both that additional lot or just the individual lot itself. And right now they're deciding to just sell it with the 5.41 acre lot, but that additional one that's just across the city line that's in the city. It has a possibility of future development, things like that, if someone needed more space. But now that they've decided to sell it right now, just for looking at the current 5.41 acre lot.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And there are ponds, lakes on there. There is water on there. I saw the property.
Not for this one. They had in front the outdoor arena as well, which could have, from the
Okay.
aerial view, could have looked like water from certain lights. But no, it's a outdoor riding arena that could be used for, even if it's not for horses, a lot of these things are convertible to, whatever toys you want, right? I mean, you're able to, if it's not horses, that's your thing, but you love the house, the outdoor outbuildings that you have so much potential for.
Sure.
Can you see yourself, I mean, with the eXp platform, let's call it, the business model, you are able to create a team worldwide, essentially. I mean, if a country isn't open yet, we may push that out into the future. But for the most part, can you see yourself springboarding off of this property and becoming an equestrian influencer in brokerage and be connecting with other equestrian brokers? There are brokers that just focus on horse farms and leverage that knowledge that you're gaining right now.
Again, great question, Jim. And that is not my target strategy for my growth going forward, for being global and everything. Like, I know for me, it is the Milwaukee to Madison, and you'll see a lot more coming from me in the near future of where my target market will be and everything. But of course, we'll be able to leverage connections through that. But the eXp has different team structures, right? So there's a self-organized and a standard team, right? So the goal eventually, if I were to scale outside of my area, I'm putting blinders on of going a standard team in my area and really pouring into the people that want to be connected to me as agents really locally, and then being able, as I'm cultivating that system and really perfecting it and honing it and putting blinders on and like really serving my local community really, really well. As soon as I get my system going on that, and there's a bit of a push because my wife and I are expecting our first baby in April. So I'm like, okay, I got to get agents going. I got to get my systems going. I got to get everything ready. But once that is going, and once that is more fine-tuned in the future, who knows, I might continue to keep my nucleus of my standard team, but then open up to a self-organized team that's kind of another veil around that they could essentially get the same tools, resources that I'm using in systems, but not necessarily be local with a combination of team split and being able to have in return for that a lot of the local hands-on experience, like direct mentorship, and I guess even beyond mentorship, just teamwork with me locally too.
How
So
long have you
I
been
would say
married?
the answer is no.
But
here's the follow-up question. So on our Meta Workplace app for eXp, there must be an equestrian group that you've already joined and
Yep.
and leveraged. Okay, good.
How long have you
100%.
been married?
We've been married for a little over 6 years.
Oh, okay. So congratulations. Sometimes people get married really young and have a baby right there, and it's like kids raising kids, but 6 years together is a good period of time.
I just tend to live in the fast lane. I know I look like I'm 12 years old, but I mean, hey, when I'm 70, I'm going to be crushing it, right? So
I know that. I know that
I'd
feeling.
love to find out about the construction and sort of what is standard. Does this house that we're talking about, does it have a basement? Are basements a thing where you are?
In Wisconsin.
Yes, absolutely. I only laugh just because in Wisconsin here, yeah, everyone's got their basements, right? But in the home, when we pull up the video at the very end here, we have a few minutes for that. The basement is finished, right? So of that, just about all of it, they have additional space that's for storage and mechanicals, but there's a full bedroom downstairs with egress window. There's seriously incredible living space that for hosting. They have an in-home theater that is in their basement, a wet bar, and they use an additional flex room as a trophy room that is now like it's so unique, and it has these intricate details in the ceiling and on the countertops that are these concrete countertops that are designed to look like an edge of wood. It is crazy cool. And then one more room that's like a flex room, could be for workout space or things like that. So yeah, down there, it's a whole nother house down there. So.
And you mentioned it's heated by gas. Is this propane or is it piped in?
Well, it's in-floor radiant heat. It's gas source, fuel source, but radiant heat throughout the property. And then they have, like, for the air conditioning, I believe it's the high efficiency, potentially the type of gravity fed that goes from the top down, so that it has very small ducts, very much like tube piping rather than these big chonkers.
Right.
That makes it really, really efficient as well.
But it's natural gas piped in from the street.
That is correct. Yeah, good
Okay.
question.
Do you want to try and let's try this, see if we can finish better than we started.
No matter what, it's going to be included in the video on the website.
Yeah,
I'll
good.
get that done.
And we can always do some post stitching for the saved version as well. There's many options.
No Wix ads. I'll even edit out all the Wix ads and stuff. So
yeah. Okay.
Well, very good. Did you?
There you go.
I'll leave a little Viome in there just as an homage to Glenn. I think I saw Viome in there.
You saw I shared that with you, right, Jacob?
I believe so. Yep.
You're the
So I'm hitting
co-host now.
screen share now.
You know if it's going to be a boy or a girl?
Yes, it is going to be a girl. No names yet, so.
And the buyer of this property, do they have to bring their own horses, or are the sellers leaving the horses?
They potentially negotiable, but I think they should bring their own.
Bring their own.
Do you see my screen currently or no?
No.
Great. I hit
What do we
share.
call that? BYOH?
Yeah, BYOH.
Is available for sale for the very first time. This property boasts 5 beds, 4.5 baths, 6,642 square feet, a 60 by 130 foot indoor steel arena with 2 stalls and hay storage, a 36 by 48 foot 5-stall barn with heated tack room and upper hay storage, a fenced-in outdoor arena, brand new back patio and landscaping, a massive in-home theater, and a soaring 21-foot-tall great room. All this is rested on secluded town of Cedarburg 5.41 acre lot, walkable to the award-winning Cedarburg schools and historic downtown Cedarburg. All this can be yours for the price of $1,495,000. My name's Jacob Sheets, your Wisconsin realtor and the founder of the Jacob Sheets Real Estate Team by eXp Realty.
Too much.
Well,
Yeah.
this was what was this, show number 42? They say you never forget the 42nd show. Anyway, thanks so much.
Jacob, I believe you're going to sell this house within the next.
Yeah, that price.
I mean, the
point is
market's
just great.
changed, but let me say, for that kind of money and the kind of social media that you're extending to the world, this could be literally the deal of the week worldwide. So, we didn't even mention the fact that this incredible equestrian barn could be for cars or an auto collector. I think you could put an indoor swimming pool there. I mean, there's just so many things.
Right.
Yes, and I think that's a beautiful thing to point out, and that has now piqued everybody's interest that has stuck around to the very end here, to go ahead and either reach out to me or find the property online for the additional information, and you can see all those other things. They even do have a virtual rendering of what it may look like inside for holding those additional cars, things like that, as a virtual renovation with my media team, so they could. Sometimes people can't see past, like, oh, it's XYZ. There's lots of options that are there.
Thank you so much.
Change for this property.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been awesome to have you as a guest. Tune in next week for another great show here at the Exponential Files.